All right, everybody's been asking for a baling video. So over here we have our baler. This was a used baler, and Trevor's gonna kind of explain how this all works because I don't really run the baler.
So basically you got your windrow, and then you got your pickup reel here. So this picks it up, stuffs it in the middle.
What about the big flywheel up here?
This is your flywheel. That's basically your counterweight for this giant thing. So this thing spins around really slow, and that's what runs all the internals and stuffs the bales, all the stuff on the inside.
All right. Yeah, this is a huge arm.
Basically a giant gearbox in there.
Yeah, big gearbox, and that's what packs the bales.
You come in here, you got your stuffer arms here. So once the straw comes in, it comes in here, and these little arms spin. They spin really fast like this, and it shoves it into this little chamber here.
So not here, but down in there.
Down inside here. And then there's a little door right here on the bottom. That door. So once so much straw gets in, that pushes that door down, and then that triggers this right here, which when this is running, this thing will drop and shove up the straw, and that's what makes your flakes.
Okay. So it's these tines right here that go down and then push it up.
They stuff up in and make your flakes.
And that's your stuffer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And seeing this thing run is kind of scary if the door's open.
And you may see in the video when I'm driving that I'm kind of weaving sometimes, because you have to feed this whole stuffer chamber even. So if you don't feed it even, the bales will come out all curved.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
And we try to get nice square bales, not bales that look like Twinkies.
Yeah. And so depending on how heavy it was when it's feeding in the combine, and the wind can affect which side the windrow is, so you may have to move one way or the other because of those things to keep it feeding in the middle.
Okay. Now here we have rolls and rolls of twine.
Yep. So on both sides you have these 3 rows of twine. On these 6, those are the twine for the top, and then the 3 here are the twine for the bottom, because it's got to feed longer, so you need more twine as you're baling. And as you can see this morning, I ran out of a few bundles.
Yeah, there's a couple empty ones.
But you have this on both sides.
Okay. So
Tons of twine.
So the needles are down here, right?
Yeah, so those big arms are what they call the needles. And if you notice, the one over there is red. That one, when it came up one time, got bent somehow. We're not sure how it got bent, but that's a new one. That's one problem we had this year.
So these are the needles. So once you get enough flakes packed in there, these big, they look like swords. These big, they ram up through the top, and they shoot out the top, and then on the top up there, there's knotters.
And how they work, you'd have to find a video, because I can't explain how they work.
It's magic. It just works by magic. Shows needles shove up there, and then the knotters tie a knot with little gypsies and fairies, and
magic
then
pixies.
It just the magic pixies. They just pull that out, and then you have a knotted bale.
So you may have also noticed all that twine hanging down underneath. So occasionally when it's tying, a string will break or something, and you'll have to rerun the string down through all that, crawl underneath the baler and the straw and get covered in straw. And if you got your son with you, he climbs up there and you don't know and starts jumping and just showers you with a nice grain dust.
A lovely itchy bath.
Yes. So you'll notice that's why I have a sweater on. It's still pretty warm, but I had to crawl underneath several times this morning as I was finishing. So you put this on to try to keep as much itchy from going down your back as you can.
And then the bale just gets pushed out because the next bale is getting packed and that pushes it out. Now these plates, they just help compact it and keep it square.
On one of the videos that I made, I explained, so the pressure when it's telling you on the inside that 1,200 whatever pounds, or that's what's creating that number, is these plates on each side. And that's how it tells you when you're getting too dry, the pressure will come up way high, because these are pushing really hard trying to keep that bale tight.
Okay, so those keep your bales nice and tight. And you can see that there's a full bale here.
Yep.
But we can't get it out unless you wrap a chain or a cable around it and pull it out. We basically just leave whatever bale's in here till the next time we bale, and then it gets pushed out.
There is a way to do it. I don't know how.
there's some fancy ways you can do stuff, but and then this is the accumulator.
So basically you got this giant arm right here. So it moves back and forth. So as this bale comes out, it'll push that back down flat. That's on the very back.
Right there.
And then that tells this thing, and it takes it and shoves the bale over, and then it just stays over there, and then the next bale comes and pushes it down and shoves it back. And then these little flaps will tell me, so sometimes it's so dusty you can't see back here. So those flaps will tell me on my screen that I got bales, and then that I just hit the buttons and these will dump, and it allows you to pack the bales around through the field a little bit so you can dump them in kind of close to each other, so it's easier for whoever's picking them up.
Yeah, so when they come through with the loader and stack them, they don't have to run around the field as much. So that is pretty much it. That's the baler. I did get some drone footage, so you'll see that next. And then Trevor took some video, so you'll probably see his video and then the drone footage. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Good morning, guys. It's a little before 5 o'clock in the morning right now. I've been going about an hour. Baling some straw here. As you can see, it's still pitch black, but I figured I'd show you how the bale stuff works here on the baler. Obviously, that's the baler back there, but when it gets light out, it's hard to see this screen. Sorry about the shakiness. The baler jerks this tractor pretty good. That's just the way balers are. So here we got our accumulator. You push those two switches and it'll dump the bales. And here we got all our stuff on our screen here. So that little arrow at the top that you can see, you have to feed a baler as even as possible. So I got off a little to show you that arrow, and it changes colors and stuff, as you can see. And then when you got it where you want it, it changes. And if you notice those two little vertical green bars, that also can indicate when I'm getting a little off. And then your windrow can affect that too, how it's laid out. The top left with the 27/31, that's how many flakes on the left is how many flakes I had. I've got right now, and on the right is how many flakes the last bale was. Down there lower, below that's the pressure that's in the bale chamber. And baling straw, just around here, it's just high. I can't tell you why. And then that bottom spot where you see those three little squares is the accumulator. So if you notice now, there's two green squares, and so it's telling me, hey, you got to dump the bales. Because back there, and I'll show you that, when we get a little light outside and you can see that. But this screen is hard to see in the light with on your phone. So, but if you notice, when I hit those switches, then all of a sudden the green goes away. And if you look down there, that number right there at the bottom, 504, that's how many bales we've baled so far this year. And we were down a couple days with some problems, so had a needle get bent and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's been a fun baling season with that new harvester. They're really chewing through the grain, so we're way behind baling because the baler went down. So yeah, I better get back to it. It's a little hard to film and drive this jerky thing and keep it. Good morning, guys. Here's just more proof that Mother Nature rules all. The fog came in on me, and now the bales are too wet, so I have to stop and wait until the sun comes up, which will be a pretty good day. It's a little monster sunrise there, but hopefully once it comes up here in about 30-40 minutes, I'll be able to keep going. Good morning, guys. We are just about, This is the last windrow of straw for 2024. It will be great. And I will show you when I get down to the other end, I'll show you how many bales we got this year. There we go. Here is the last end of the row. Be great. It looks like we're going to end up with 22,666 bales. That's how many bales we baled this year. We were hoping for more, but because we had short stands of grain, we didn't get very good windrows on most of our fields. So, but yeah, 26 bales, 2,600 to almost 2,700 bales. That's not bad. That's more than the dairy needs, and so we'll have them covered.